Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending the public safety meeting. I missed I think a couple of meetings probably. I was kind of under the weather, and I thank you for carrying on. And thank those who stood in my place. Thank you so much. You know, we were just talking about health. There's nothing like your health. I'll tell you, when you get your feet knocked out from under you, it's not good. So, again, thank you for being here. This is the meeting of the Public Safety Committee meeting, and the day is the 28th. Sheriff, welcome to the meeting. With that, I'd like to put a motion on the floor to approve the previous minutes.
Take attendance.
We don't have to. I will acknowledge there's a quorum though.
I like it, I like it. It's
Yeah,
good.
thank you.
It's popular,
Just
but
note that
not
I'm here.
required.
Just note that I'm here.
You're done.
That's what
Motion,
happens
Bill.
when you have these old guys around, you
You
know?
know, I mean,
They pay attention to that kind of stuff, yeah?
hey, we want to be, you know, it's our legacy. Tomorrow, which was at that meeting.
Yeah, but thank you, Gary, and thank you, Counselor. We do have a quorum. So I'd like to get a motion to approve the previous minutes, please. Motion's
Second.
made, all in favor? Opposed? Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Item 2, public hearing for local law B, and item 3, local law B, are both tabled at the request of sponsor. Items 4 and, oh, I'm sorry, those were both local law B. We're having some issues with Granicus related to the agendas. The next items are the public hearing and local law E, both for local law E, those are withdrawn. Whatever the next item is, I could not tell you. The sheriff is authorizing an agreement with the New York State Division of Homeland Security regarding reimbursement for the COVID-19 pandemic and amending the 2023 Sheriff's Office budget.
Good evening, thank you, and good to see you again, Mr. Clay.
Thank you, sir.
As part of the FEMA Federal Disaster Declaration 4480DR, we filed for reimbursement for costs that the county had expended during COVID. We were able to recoup roughly $285,955.30 from FEMA. I already have those funds back in our lines. In order to complete the claim, I need to have the resolution filed, so requesting legislative approval to do so.
Okay, any questions for the sheriff on that?
I'll make a motion.
Motion, second? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you so much. Motion's carried.
All right, and item 5, confirmed, is authorizing an agreement with Intrado Life and Safety Solutions Corporation regarding multimedia service and 911 translation services at the Sheriff's Office.
As you know, since you funded it, we have a brand-new state-of-the-art 911 system for Albany County. And to continue to just be an enhanced 911 system, we've added the texting and the video. The total bill for that is $27,000 a year. What that allows us to do is if there's an active shooter or some other horrific scene, we can request the caller, we'll send them a link. They can hit the link and it allows us to take over the video portion of their phone. So we can then relay the information directly to emergency responders, whether it's medical, law enforcement, fire, whatever. If it's a fire, we can see where the fire started, where it's burning, allows for different strategies for response. And then in addition to that, it's text to 911 translation. So they can text in whatever language, and it will automatically reverse back for us so we can see, and then we can text back to them and have a communication even though we'll have a language barrier. So it's pretty good technology, I think for $27,400. It's a good expense, and most of it will probably be grant funded anyway next year.
Very good.
Can't-
Any questions? Yes.
Can't you use the surcharge money for the sheriff?
Oh, yes, we do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's where it'll all come out of. It'll all come out of 911 funds. And again, we'll probably have this covered under a grant anyway, which our guys have been very good about that. State's been pretty good with our grant funding. We're over $1 million plus a year, so which allows us to help the other communities as well.
Okay, any other questions?
I heard the the mayor say that City of Albany was going to have a 911 system?
Yes, I heard that too.
So my question, my question to you is, the 911 that you have, what municipalities does it cover?
We cover Cohoes, Waterville, Green Island, Town of Queens, and then we are the rollover for other towns. For instance, the last couple of weekends in the city of Albany, they've had a hard time getting dispatchers to come in, so they would call us earlier in the night, tell us that we only had 3 dispatchers on. We would either add or just prepare for a busy evening because the calls will roll to us. The problem with calls rolling usually means that phone has, somebody obviously needs 911 for a reason, right? And that means that they're waiting in excess of 11 times, 11 rings before it comes to us. So that's a bit of a problem. Yeah, I'm not sure what the city's plan is for 911. We have a new building, we have a new system in place.
Thank you.
Sheriff, yeah, that means then that if I call 911, it's got to ring 11 times? Is that what you said?
Yeah, either they answer it, or they're busy, overworked, understaffed, whatever the case may be, to cause it to continue to ring, and then it will flip to us. And then, of course, we have to dispatch, put the calls in, everything else. You know, listen, the problem is, 911, you want it to be as fast and efficient as possible,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We're there to save lives. So, it's something that we've been working with other communities as well, if they're short, and, but it does have to go, I don't know how long it takes for 11 calls to ring, but, it feels like an eternity if you're having a heart attack or in a medical
Or
emergency.
somebody beating on you?
Sheriff, is there any way to capture the phone calls of perhaps people who can't or won't wait the 11 rings? I mean, if I called and nobody picked up after like 6 or 7 rings, I would probably just hang up. Honestly, I mean, not knowing that 11 is the magic number.
Yeah,
would
I
probably-
mean, there's times where we probably could deal with the vendors to adjust the length of it, but also you're really shifting that burden back and forth from community to community. I mean, in a perfect world, everybody is properly staffed and, and grabs their phone, in the first 911 call and sends it out. But, there are times where, even with us, we're dealing for 4 or 5 different municipalities and 40 fire departments, and I don't know how many EMS squads, let alone ourselves, which is one of the biggest in the county. They could all be all tied up. I mean, if you got a structure fire that is suspicious and somebody's burned, I mean, you're using all the emergency medical services, right? You're using police, fire, EMS, everything. There could be a time where everybody's dispatching, so the phone rings more than 3 or 4 times. So what is that magic number, So that's some of the problems, and I think the issue is that's kind of the average before it rolls somewhere else.
Go ahead.
So even though I may live in the city of Albany, if I am in, where did you say you cover?
All the hill towns, Cohoes, Waterville, Green Island, Queens.
So if I'm in one of the hill towns and I use my phone to call 911, it picks it up?
We'll get that, yes.
Okay, so if you're on I-90, who picks up?
So that could go to the state, but in more times, that's going to come to us as well. We answer a majority of the cellular calls in the county.
Depends on what tower it is.
Yeah, down here, believe it or not, right where we are and a little bit, I guess that would be a little bit more east of us, it's a little bit problematic because there's a valley and sometimes the Rensselaer County towers will grab it first. But it's literally, it's a quick flip right back to us, just a 1-button transfer, it's called.
Thank you.
Gary, G.
Sheriff, how often would you say that happens in Albany where, in a particular, like last month, how often did they switch to, didn't have enough 911 dispatchers, they had to switch over? You know
Well, we
that?
get rollovers a lot. How many times, I could give you a complete spreadsheet on that, but I know there's been staffing issues, all along here, and it's happened a few times in the last couple of weeks.
Can't, 11 times is a long time too, I mean, especially in an emergency. Couldn't it roll over to Colony, because Colony's got a lot of dispatchers too?
And Colony's busy. That's what I'm saying. It's really, what you're doing is you're just pushing the burden on someone, on whatever municipality. It doesn't, it could, it's us right now, but yeah, it could go to Colony, it could go to Guilderland or Bethlehem. But Bethlehem only has like 2, maybe 3 at tops, dispatchers on, Guilderland about 2.
So it rolls
Colony-
over to us?
If for some
county
reason we
first?
didn't answer it after X amount of calls, it would roll to another
Who
municipality.
determines where it goes?
That's computer programming. Primarily, we do, since we're technically in charge of 911. We are in charge of 911. But again, you're only as good as your backup.
You know, living in the city of Albany, I find that very concerning, especially representing an elderly population. 11 times is probably about, you could say, 15 seconds maybe, right? And a fire, what, doubles every minute? So if it's a fire call, it's a real problem.
I mean, you know what, Gary, it's really just staffing. I mean,
Oh, I know.
we're blessed right now where our dispatchers is really the only discipline under our umbrella that is not struggling to keep retention and recruitment. They got a good contract, thank God, so, they're pretty satisfied. We have, 35, 36 dispatchers. But a lot of agencies are struggling for dispatchers. And again, even the COs, I've got about 71 vacancies. I got 21 deputy vacancies. EMS right now, I was full, and now I've got some holes already.
Now, the state police have an exam coming up next month, and they got 10,000 applicants. 10,000.
But in fairness to the state police, they have a much bigger recruitment and retention budget. They've been traveling all over the country recruiting people.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are really gonna let
After
me
a year, they
travel
make
around.
100,000 a year. Not bad.
Now, Sheriff, the 11 times that you said, that is not one person calling 11 times, right? That is just like
That is one phone call ringing,
one phone call.
waiting
Right.
for an answer or a transfer.
But not just from one, phone. It's just like
Yes.
multiple people.
No,
No,
it's
one
one
phone.
person. So
Really?
most agencies, not familiar with everyone's operation, have a police dispatcher, a fire dispatcher, and an ambulance dispatcher, a medical dispatcher, and then what's called a phone, call taker. So most agencies, it'll come in, it'll be, the call taker gets it, boom, it's a medical call, goes this way. It's how many times before that person gets that call. So it's one person calling, just waiting for help in essence.
Sheriff, the 11 times it takes over to you, your dispatchers are busy with a shooting up there or a fire. How many times does it ring after 11 times before somebody in your office picks it up?
Just a couple at best. I mean, we've always got 5 or 6 dispatchers on and a supervisor. And again, if it's a busy day, there's always bosses around that come in and, sit on a desk. That's why we built that facility the way we built it. So we built it to take on other 911 centers, but also in the event of a catastrophe or whatever the case may be, we can have additional call takers. That's the outer ring on our patrol, on the 911 center.
Thank you.
They're always busy though, I mean, even.
They're busy. I mean, yeah, they're busy. I mean, our guys, you gotta remember, not only are they answering for our patrol guys, but also our patrol guys that are in the city.
Yeah.
So they're busy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Cohoes, Waterloo, Green Island, and Queens.
It's all day, they just keep going. It's
Paul?
amazing.
Thank you. Craig, is it true that an ALS call has to be responded to by within 4.5 minutes of the call? Like if you've got someone
I'd have to
that is
verify that.
coded, I think, there are some guidelines for what's an ALS call and what's a BLS certification.
Yeah, I'd have to verify that.
11 ring thing may move you from one category to another in terms of life-saving capacity.
I mean, I have fly cars all over the county, and you gotta think about, I mean, if I'm on one end of Knox and I gotta get to the other end, that's a solid 4.5 minutes right there at a minimum. Even to go to another town, I could be talking 12 minutes. So I'm not sure, maybe that's kind of like
I think that's the
a standard they
certification
really would love to
for-
meet.
but our average time, I
Yeah.
don't know how you construct it. but-
Any other questions?
Bill,
Yes.
Sheriff, this is my last question. It's very fascinating. I'm curious, the call from Albany rolls over to you, the dispatcher gets it. How do you know what cars are available in Albany to dispatch?
We don't. With our system, my cars are all on a screen, so we know what we're doing, where we are, who's where. When we send it back to Albany, it goes right back to their police dispatcher, or their medical dispatcher, or their fire dispatcher, and then they dispatch the call.
Oh, so you answer it, but you don't dispatch? So
We
you
answer
just
it,
send
we
it back
take-
to
yep.
Albany,
We get as much information
and
as we
then
can, and
Albany
we
goes,
kick it.
so that's even more time.
Yes, yeah. There are times where we can jump on CDERN and put a call out for them, like if it's like a real, emergency that, something really horrific is occurring right here, we need all the help we can get. We can go on CDERN, and then we'll get additional agencies as well. Everyone will hear that.
Okay, any other questions? Just a comment, Sheriff, I'll tell you, I had the need for EMT not too long ago, and I can appreciate them. It was the city of Albany, of course, but I'll tell you, they were professional, timely, and perhaps it's one of the reasons I'm still here.
Yeah.
And you're out in the country.
Yeah, right? Okay.
We're glad you're well.
Yeah, can we have a motion, please? There's a motion on the floor, can we have a second? Second, all in favor? Opposed? Thank you, Sharon. Motion
Thank you.
approved.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Item 6 is authorizing an agreement with Satellite Tracking of People LLC regarding global possession system services.
Good evening, Chair and members. This is a request for 2024 to increase our contract with our GPS provider. We provide GPS for all courts in Albany County, mostly bail reform, sex offenders, gun-involved persons, raised-age persons, and it's difficult to predict how many we're going to actually get. It depends on how many persons are arrested and when the judge releases them to us.
Okay, any questions?
Second.
A motion, and we have a motion and a second, all in favor? Opposed? Thank you so much. Thank you.
And item 7 is amending the 2023 Albany County budget for the bus safety program. I believe Joe Bonarigo from the Executive's Office is here this evening.
Hello, everyone.
Good afternoon, or good evening.
So apparently, more people pass the school bus than we had anticipated originally, so we have a budget amendment to add additional revenue into that budget line.
Are these like the commercials we see on TV and all that? Is that-
They just started, yeah, we just have a campaign that we just started on TV, radio, and newspaper.
And that's what this 243 is used for?
Yes. All of the revenue from the bus patrol system, from the bus safety program, is geared toward giving the community education.
Where's the revenue coming from?
Citations,
Really, that much?
yeah.
People don't stop.
They don't stop. It's good ads, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Their communications did a great job.
Oh, Mike, I'm sorry.
Chairman, I just have a question. Can you expand on that as far as, do you have any numbers that you can give us as to how many people are cited every month? Or is it well above what you had anticipated?
Well above, yeah. I don't have the exact numbers. I can give them to you. I can get them and send them out to everyone if you'd like. But they're way more than we thought.
And this is South Colony and Bethlehem?
Guilderland, Bethlehem, Voorheesville is on board. Rabina, Queens, Selkirk, I know, that's wrong. Knox,
So it's
Burn, Knox,
expanded quite a
Westerville.
bit since the original South Colony program.
yes. Yeah. It's not good news.
Well, no, it's not.
So hopefully these campaigns that we have to alert motorists that it has an effect, so that we're going to be monitoring. That's the idea. We knew that there was going to be a peak, and hopefully now it starts to subside, where people start to realize that no matter how many lanes are on the road, you have to stop.
Is there an improvement, I mean, there's a lot of publicity surrounding passing the school bus. Does there seem to be any improvement in terms of
Well,
people?
the jury's still on it
complying with
because,
the,
well, we just started the program. I think a year. We're just into it a year. And that was just one school district. So probably toward next summer, we'll have a better idea as to, whether or not, our efforts are working.
Yeah, thank
I'm sorry, who had, Patty?
Thank you. In relation to your answer to Mr. Moriello, when you were saying expansion far above what you thought, is that even with expanding the program? So even the numbers?
Yeah, well, we didn't know.
The expansion doesn't take up all that, right?
Well, we didn't know. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure you all, have seen school buses. You're like, who would pass a school bus? Like, we didn't think that it would be
Right.
a big deal program, and it turned out to be, a very big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thanks. It's mainly Western, and last time I checked, it was Western and Central Avenue. And I think because people aren't really clear, it's amazing, if there were a boulevard between the two, they could, it'd be a different thing if the bus was stopped on the other side of the boulevard.
Right.
So I think it really needs to be an education campaign that you can't pass a school bus on Central and Western Avenue.
No matter how many
So
lanes.
I-
Right,
the
and that's our
extra money-
campaign.
Can the extra money be used for that?
Yes,
Is that-
and that's what we're
Because people
doing.
are confused about that.
Right, and that's our target. So we, and I didn't know, honestly, that if you were on a multi-lane road, that you had to stop. So I learned, and so getting that information out through this campaign, unfortunately, with the revenue that we're getting, is the way we're gonna do that.
Any other questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Motion to move it.
Motion is made, second. All in. That's all right. There's a motion made, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Motion adjourned.
Motion adjourned. There's a motion to adjourn. Second. If I have a second, all in favor? Aye. Thank you.